It's Dave Monk, it's BBC Essex. Hello, good afternoon. I hope you're feeling well this afternoon, had a good weekend and all that sort of stuff. What do you think about this? Burnt Mills Academy in Harlow, I think it was last year, maybe earlier this year, they introduced rap lessons to their curriculum. They've now expanded their music curriculum by offering DJing to their students. The school has seen students taking music as a GCSE double option due to the focus on the curriculum. Earlier, I spoke to the Director of Performing Arts at Burnt Mill Academy, Kristen Casey. And obviously I spoke to her about the new DJing classes. But first of all, I asked her how the rap classes have gone down.
The rap classes have been extremely popular. We have a huge number of pupils opting to take rap out of personal interest. From year 7 to 11, some of them are moving on and taking examinations in GCSE using their skills that they've developed in their rap lessons. And it's also moved on to some of the primary schools. And there are starting primary rap workshops in the town as well. So it's going really, really quite well. And we've built more provision upon that for music technology and DJing above and beyond what we started with the rap. So it's been inspirational.
Well, let's talk about the DJing classes. I mean, how is that going to work and why are you doing it?
We're doing it because, we spoke to the kids. We're here to bring the education to the young people. So at Burnt Mill, we're very, very conscious to speak to the children to see what learning that they want to have, because it needs to be current for them, for them to be enthusiastic. The learning needs to be meaningful. Music nowadays is not all about playing a flute. We need to move our curriculum into the 21st century. We want to be able to expose them to different cultures, give a toolkit of skills, confidence, performance abilities, and just to create a love of learning and incentivize coming to school. Really, it's had a massive impact on children with behavioral issues and attendance issues. They just want to come to school because they've found something that they can love and they have a hook and it draws them in.
Oh, you don't get a GCSE in rap or a GCSE in DJing, do you?
Yes, you can.
A lot of the exam
boards now have moved their assessments to include these new technologies, I guess. And as I examine for one of the boards, and we actually have training in assessing for rapping, beatboxing, DJing. So it's all the exam boards, and it seems like, and hopefully a lot of the schools across the country are being able to offer that to their students, because we introduced the rap last year and the delivery of music technology, VIP, which has been sponsored by Essex Music Hub through the County Council, and that uses Soundation and Tranga, and we introduced that into our Key Stage 3 curriculum, and now we have double uptake to GCSE, which has been fantastic because a lot of programs in the country are reducing in numbers, and we're doubling in numbers because we've got the hook. We've got something that the kids are passionate about and love to do.
Now, I can see that getting kids passionate about learning is really, really important. I mean, do you sneak the more traditional subjects in once you got them there? I mean, is that the idea?
We kind of do it side by side. So we essentially start them out on the key skills and the key vocabulary that they need to know to become well-rounded musicians. And then we still do the performance on traditional instruments. We still do the composing elements on traditional instruments and pop genres. But we also introduce these technologies and kind of interweave it all together. So we're not omitting anything. We're just enriching the offer that we already have.
There will be people shouting at their radios at the moment. How on earth do you study DJing?
Well, there is a company called Future DJs, and they just done a kickstart, and they've raised quite a capital to be able to reach out to the students across the nation. They've come into our school about 2 weeks ago, and they did a workshop assembly for our year 7s and 8s. They got kids up, they got them performing, they bring the equipment to the school, and we do it just like a piano lesson that students would take in school. They go out, they have a lesson one-to-one with a specialist in DJing, and so they have that specialist teacher delivering that topic.
But no, I think the point I'm making is, as a DJ, having been one, you basically are playing other people's music.
Yes. So it's all about DJing in the sense that I'm speaking about is working with two different tracks at the same time, being able to layer those together so they beat match and they match key, and so the tempos and the structures, and you can deliver more traditional.
So there is a difference, and I think this needs to be made clear. There is a very great difference between DJing as it is in 2018 and DJing as it was in maybe 1983. DJing now is really, you're a music producer, aren't you? You are producing music.
Exactly. So you were taking somebody else's and readapting or remixing to make it your own. A lot of with the GCSE curriculums especially, those students have to have the tools to be able to create those music on their own. That's why VIP is such a powerful tool. It's based on foundation. So the students from year 7 learn how to produce their own beats rather than using somebody else's. They then use these DJing production lessons to be able to perform the compositions that they've already written, as well as performing somebody else's music. And
again, people will be asking, but what's it going to give them apart from an interest in school, which is fine? Is it going to get them a job at the end of the day? Are employers going to say, do you know, I really want that person because they've got a GCSE in DJing? Well,
the thing is that music and all cultural arts provide a lot of skills that we're fighting to promote and advocate for. So there's huge gaps in the creative job industry in the United Kingdom. There is such a gap in that creative thinkers, and that's exactly what we are fostering here at Burnt Mill. We give them a toolkit of skills, the confidence they need, the ability to stand up and perform and present themselves as well as their music, being able to think on their feet and troubleshoot and fix something as they're going along. Accountability, so they learn how to perform and they're held to account. Did you do that work this week? You're not going to improve unless you do that. So that love of learning and that passion, I think, and finding that one thing that motivates them, even if they're not a DJ, but having those skills to be able to identify what actually drives them is going to impact their lives from post-secondary onwards.
So they can. Ultimately, some of them can make a living out of it, is what you're saying. They can actually make a living.
They can, and they can also make a living from doing many other things using the skills that they've learned through DJing and
It's
production.
not just a soft option.
Absolutely not, and I would be so against that. There's been lots of publications lately saying that drama and creative subjects are soft options. There are so many, there's so much evidence out there to prove that is not the case. And I would love to talk to you more about the evidence that supports that, because there's such cultural learning. It's such a valuable part of a student's education. And unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of that being lost. And we're here to fight for the kids and fight for what they deserve in a well-rounded curriculum.
Well, that's Kristen Casey, who is the Director of Performing Arts at Burnt Mill Academy in Harlow. What do you think about that? You've heard it. What do you think? Good idea?